You are watching Newsroom 24/7. News on the dot.
It was one of the most intense periods in the history of Pakistan. Domestically speaking, vis-a-vis India-Pakistan relations, vis-a-vis what was happening in Afghanistan, vis-a-vis what was happening between Pakistan and Iran. So it was a very intense period, and actually I would say it was pre 9/11, 9/11, post 9/11. That is, if you look at it from the perspective of the world. If you look at it from the perspective of India, it's post Kargil, it's post attack on Parliament, it's post Islamabad summit. That's when India and Pakistan again came together and joined hands and started a lot of things which are still running, which are still in operation, which are still functional. To give an example, the historic bus link between Srinagar and their side of Kashmir, then opening up of a train, reopening of the train route from Sindh their side and Rajasthan on our side. That was another very interesting thing. For the first time again in the relations in the history of India and Pakistan, a delegation of Hurriyat was permitted to travel to their side of Kashmir as well as to Pakistan. For the first time in the history of the two sides, they almost came to war. There was a mobilization of 100,000 soldiers on the Indian side as well as their side. For the first time in history, US had threatened to bomb Pakistan if they don't decide within the next 24 hours on whether they will snap all their ties with the Taliban and join the US effort to wipe out militarily the Taliban. That was another very historic thing that happened during my time. There were a lot of development. Each month was very important and interesting. As I said, the interesting part is, see, today all that is there that remains between India and Pakistan was actually the work that was done by Vajpayee and Musharraf. All the, whether it's in terms of whatever little trade relations that is there, whatever travel that's happening between the two sides, whatever cultural links that are there, then there is a linkage between the two parliamentary groups. Despite 2008, that's Mumbai Taj attack, these links have survived, and today, despite all the strains, the ties that were built or that were made during Vajpayee time have not only managed to survive but continue. That itself to me is a very huge thing. In fact, I returned to Pakistan just last month. In March, I had gone there. I had gone on a 7-day trip. I had gone on a private visit. It was a wedding invitation of a friend. So I traveled to Lahore. I traveled to from there. I traveled to Rawalpindi by GT Road. Then I stayed in Islamabad. I was in Lahore for 3 nights and Islamabad 4 nights. It was a very interesting trip in the sense that it again kind of reinforced my thinking that people of Pakistan are not very different from people of India. They desire friendship. They are not in favor of tensions. They are very eager that people are allowed to travel, that there should be trade between the two countries. There should be because the kind of following that the Bollywood heroes and heroines Pakistani have in Pakistan, it's amazing. In fact, now in between there was a they had lifted the ban on Bollywood films. They had reimposed it. Now it has been lifted again. So now you can the Bollywood films are released in the film halls of Pakistan, and they run full house. So there is a lot of fan following of not just Hindi. I mean, Hindi cinema is very Bollywood in Pakistan is very well known, and that keeps the India connection is very strong.
Now, coming to Kashmir, one, and two, a lot is being said about the security threat to foreign correspondents in Islamabad. These are the two issues out there.
Yeah, see, as far as Kashmir is concerned, to be very honest, like as I said, like I met the club where I was staying. It's called Punjab Club. There, the waiter happened to be a Kashmiri from the other side. So he told me in just 3 sentences. He said, हम ना हिंदुस्तान चाहते हैं ना पाकिस्तान चाहते हैं, हम आज़ादी चाहते हैं. That's the sentiment of a Pakistani Kashmiri. This holds good, largely holds good as far as the because I'm one of the few Indian journalists who have visited their side of their part of Kashmir, not once but 4 times. So whatever conversations I've had with people, the guy who told me, his waiter who told me last in March about this sentiment, it still holds, and it was the sentiment earlier, it's still the case now. As far as people of Pakistan are concerned, they do genuinely feel that there is repression by Indian army in Kashmir. They genuinely feel that something should be done. But beyond that, I don't think they have enough knowledge or understanding of the actual issue, or do they care much about Kashmiris themselves. Whatever knowledge they, Pakistanis like average Indians, have about Kashmir is what appears on the popular or mainstream, television channels, or some of the big papers who have correspondents on the ground. And so whatever narratives that we get to hear, read, see, watch, these are all narratives which are, second hand, which are third hand. There are very few people who have actually, say, traveled to Kashmir. I'm talking about Pakistanis as well, who have traveled to their side of Kashmir and know what the issue is, what the people of, say, for that matter, what the people of their own part of Kashmir think, or what they claim to be their part of Kashmir think. They are not aware of any of that.
Now there is another side to the story. One is the demand for Azadi, 1. 2, the hawks in the Pak army and the ISI, are they not using this sentiment to their advantage by promoting terrorism?
There is absolutely no doubt whatsoever that it has been used by Pakistani military, by the Pakistani security establishment to consolidate its own position, to justify its existence. Its very identity lies in keeping alive issue like Kashmir. But that's one aspect of it. If you ask me, same thing holds good for New Delhi as well. I don't know what is the hesitation of New Delhi in reaching out to various sections of Kashmiris. Today, for right or wrong reasons, there is unrest. Since July, actually, there's so much that's happening in Srinagar as well as the towns surrounding Srinagar. That we had a recent parliamentary by-election where the turnout was just about 7%. So we also need to introspect, think as to why this is happening. Why are the people taking to stones So you see, we also need to perhaps pause, reflect, think about the issue as to why this is happening from July onwards. If the strife has not come down, if people have not calmed down, if there have been, if the forces have been compelled to either fire or when there are incidents involving targeting of army vehicles, this, that. So what is making people of Kashmir so angry? Why is it either the state government or the government of India not able to reach out to the community and establish some kind of rapport with either the community leaders or with other sections of population there in Kashmir? We also need to perhaps reflect and think about it.
Coming to the Pakistani turf, the Pak Taliban, the Afghan theatre and Balochistan, and we have so many terrorist attacks inside Pakistan that keep happening. Who's ruling Pakistan?
There has never been any doubt about the fact that it is the Pakistan military. It's the Pakistani security establishment which rules the country. As the popular saying goes that every country has a military, but Pakistan military has a country. That is, Pakistan military owns Pakistan. So there is no doubt whatsoever. There is a political establishment. Nawaz Sharif is the Prime Minister, but he has serious limitations. He has no option but to listen to the military, because it's very, very powerful. It's a very organized force. It's a very, and they broke no. They take no order. As far as foreign policy, as far as defense is concerned, it's entirely the domain of the Pakistani military and the Pakistani intelligence establishment.
At a macro level, first I would like to zoom in the Osama, rise of Osama as a terrorist, the hatred for Americans in Saudi Arabia. In Pakistan also, there is an anti-American sentiment among the radicalized Muslims, and their number is growing in geometric progression. So how do you perceive?
See, the thing is, it's nothing actually new. There is a very strong anti-American sentiment in Pakistan. The reasons for that are many. Actually it starts with just after Pakistan was born. For whatever right or wrong reasons, Pakistan chose to work with the Americans right from the beginning, and that was Pakistan also. Americans also saw a chance in having Pakistan, as a very strategically located country from where they can operate and keep a check on China, keep a check on India, because India had aligned with the Soviet Union at that time. There is a history to this whole thing about the American. The narrative that one gets to hear in Pakistan from various friends, journalists, academicians is that repeatedly Washington has used Pakistan for its own ends and abandoned them when they needed them. That's the narrative. This is not just the Islamists who have hatred for Americans, but even well-read, seasoned academicians, thinkers, poets. They all have these grouse that US has on too many occasions has only used them whenever it suited the Washington interests, but never came to their rescue when they were in, when they needed it. The ordinary civilians also have a grouse that America like for instance in 1979, had no qualms whatsoever in embracing a dictator like Ziaul Haq, because they wanted his favor, because they wanted to take on Soviet Union, which had gone into Afghanistan. So they have very bitter memories about America. It cuts across various sections in Pakistan. They are also very bitter about the fact that after using Pakistan, Pakistan soil, Pakistan people, Pakistani forces, Pakistani military, Pakistani intelligence to take on Soviet Union from 79 till actually the Soviet collapse that happened in 1989. So they say that they did all that, they abandoned and they just left us in the lurch. So that's the other grouse that they have. They also have this grouse that in 71 when Bangladesh happened, they expected that US will come and threaten India or tell India to back off. So nothing of that sort happened. So they feel that repeatedly Washington has only used them for strategic purposes, for their own economic interests, and left the society, left the state in tatters. Nobody knows how many small weapons have been left behind thanks to the the war, that proxy war or the Cold War that continued, that the US waged against Soviet Union in Afghanistan. So the Kalashnikov culture came, drug culture came, then Pakistanis even today are hosting about I think 60 lakh Afghan refugees. There are so many Afghan refugees that are there. So in fact they have taken citizenship in Pakistan. They don't want to go back to Afghanistan. So that's become another serious issue for. So there's so many bitter memories related to that, and that's one of the reasons for the growing anti-American sentiment in Pakistan.